know the feeling, Deshaun. I know the feeling, bro. That might be the most realest thing a Houston Texan has ever done. Outside of Andre Johnson punching Cortland Finnegan, that reaction that Deshaun had with that coin toss in overtime, might be the most realest thing a Houston Texan ever done, because that same reaction he had was the same one I had. The exact same one. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texan football. Houston Texans fall to those damn Tennessee Titans. They fall to the Tennessee Titans 42-36, and you're mad and you're not mad, because on one scale, it was a great game. In my opinion, this game of the year. Like, I haven't seen the games previously from any other game this season so far don't match up to this game. And I think it's going to be hard-pressed to find another game going into the future. Who knows what happens in the playoffs and things like that when stuff is really on the line. But as far as a regular season game, that's game of the year right there. What we just watched was a very, very good game. That's one of those games that if you didn't have a dog in the fight, you were excited to watch this whole game. Like, this was a good game to watch. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down, because they break your hearts all the time. Don't they do? They just do it to you. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. Like I said, the Houston Texans fall to the Tennessee Titans 42-36. Deshaun Watson had a heck of a game. Just a heck of a game. He was 28 for 37 with a completion percentage of 75.7, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked twice, though, but had a quarterback rating of 138.9. David Johnson, 19 rushes, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Deshaun Watson, 4 rushes, 26 yards. Duke Johnson, 4 rushes, 9 yards. Will Fuller was targeted 11 times for 6 catches for 123 yards and a touchdown. Darren Fells was targeted 7 times for 6 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks targeted 9 times, 9 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. Randall Carr targeted 4 times, 3 catches, 17 yards, and a touchdown. J.J. Watt got his 99th sack with a strip sack. It was just great football to watch. And then on the Titan side, Ryan Tannehill had 30 completions off of 41 attempts for 73.2 completion percentage, had 364 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 sacks, a quarterback rating of 122.4. Derrick Henry. 22 rushes for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns was a 94-yarder. Not to mention, he had the game-winning touchdown. We're going to talk about that. Ferkser targeted 9 times, 8 catches for 113 yards and a touchdown. Humphries targeted 6 times, 6 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown. He only caught 5 catches. It was only for 56 yards. But he had 2 touchdowns. And the touchdown that sent this game in overtime. Where do I begin? Because there's 2 different stories of this game. You have just a complete onslaught offensive performance from Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson and this receiver core looked good. And I've said this before. I did a video with I think his name is Mr. Titan. I did a video with him previewing the game, but it was something wrong with the audio, so it didn't get posted up. But I said that I think the matchup in this game is going to be between the Texans receivers and their secondary. And I also said the same thing with our secondary and their receivers, more so A.J. Brown. I'm not surprised A.J. Brown had a good game. I'm not surprised A.J. Brown got 2 touchdowns, because last year's game in Nashville, A.J. Brown was just abusing and straight dogging Bradley Roby. Just abusing Bradley Roby. It wasn't until we took Garyon Conley, who wasn't playing in today's game because he's still suffering from that ankle surgery, when we put Garyon Conley to neutralize A.J. Brown in the second half last year. So Garyon Conley's not there. So you out there with Hargraves, you out there with Lonnie, you out there with Bradley Roby, and like I said, this is a bad matchup for Bradley Roby is A.J. Brown, because A.J. Brown can straight abuse him, which he did. Now, don't get me wrong, Bradley Roby had some plays. There was one play, the pass breakup that Bradley Roby had on a little sling pass. when the Texans started getting back into this game. And then also we know Bradley Roby had the interception, which was a nice interception. It was kind of a poor thrown ball by Tannehill, but hey, Roby went up there and grabbed it. He went there, he climbed that ladder. He went there and climbed. He absolutely climbed that ladder. Now that pass interference was some bullshit though. For anything, it could have been a hole, but wasn't no damn pass interference on on Bradley Roby. But at the same time, I wasn't surprised on that game time touchdown. I wasn't surprised at all because that's a situation that you don't want Bradley Roby manned up with AJ Brown. You don't want that. Now, back about Derrick Henry, because like I said, there's two sides to this game. You got the Texans offense, and then you got Derrick Henry, who completely broke the Texans back. But for the most part, to be honest, for the most part, the Texans did a well enough job in spurts against Derrick Henry, but not when it mattered the most. One, you let him run 94 yards on you. We get a nice pump. We get him back there. That's Derrick Henry's that's basically where Derrick Henry loves to go. Because Derrick Henry loves getting 99-yard touchdowns, especially against division opponents. Mostly it be against the Jaguars, but you had to let it be against us today, huh? You had to let it be against the Houston Texans. You had to. You just had to. You let Derrick Henry get, and he wasn't even touched. Like he just hit the cut, was just gone. He just gone, just straight gone, just ran straight into the end zone. Like it was effortless. Then in overtime. And that's why I felt, I know what Deshaun Watson was feeling, because Deshaun Watson was playing a great game. The Houston Texans defense let Deshaun Watson down because Deshaun Watson definitely going to be player of the week. He had AFC player of the week wrapped up. Like, Deshaun Watson played a magnificent football game. The football game that you've seen Deshaun Watson play is the reason why people have Deshaun Watson ranked as high as they have him ranked. The reason why people say Deshaun Watson is an elite quarterback. What you see today was elite football from your quarterback. But it was wasted behind your defense. Defense that the guy who's no longer the general manager right now basically put us in. Because we don't have the dogs. We don't have the horses in the stable. You have JJ, and that's really pretty much it. Because I had a lot of high hopes for Justin Reed. And Justin Reed did make an impact play with that block field goal. And he does give you impact plays, but Justin Reed is not the same Justin Reed that we've seen in years prior. Maybe because the secondary is even worse. To be honest, the secondary now is worse than it was last year. The secondary now is definitely worse than it was 2 years ago when you had Kareem Jackson and you also had Honey Badger. So it's definitely a worse secondary. Pass rush definitely worse. You don't have Clowney. You don't have the other guys like DJ Reader, even though he's more so on the run stopper, which you definitely would have used him today. Don't understand why we didn't franchise DJ Reader during the offseason. Never understood that. At the very least, Fred, if you couldn't afford his price, franchise tag him. But no, you want to spend all this money and you want to trade for David Johnson. I'm so sick of David Johnson. I really am. Because I can't go on while mentioning this before I forget. Right before halftime, Texans are driving. Now, they got a field goal out this drive. It was like 30-something seconds left. David Johnson catches a little pass and is running. And instead of going out of bounds because you only got one timeout, he's doing a little juke and a move. You wasn't about to break free, bro. You wasn't about to break free. Go out of bounds, because the difference between him going out of bounds, we still had timeout left. We had enough time to take 2 shots into the end zone, at the very least call timeout. Let's kick a field goal. Now, we had to do a little pass to Cobb to get in a better field goal situation. Hurry up and run, spike it, give Kaimi the ball with 5 seconds left, and go into halftime down 21-10. That was the difference between David Johnson being indecisive and doing all this instead of just going straight out of bounds. Is the difference between going down at halftime 21-14, being down 21-10, and you get the ball in the second half. You could have tied the game up right there, but no. David Johnson wants to do David Johnson type things, and then also constantly rack. Bill O'Brien's not here. You don't have to prove anything about the David Johnson trade anymore. That ship is sailed. It's gone. Bye. When we get in the red zone, don't give the ball to David Johnson up the middle. He is not Arian Foster. Why do y'all constantly do? I don't understand. I actually understand it. I actually understand it when Bill O'Brien was here, because you're trying to prove that you were right about the Hopkins trade. So I understand it, even though it's flawed logic and stupid. At the very least, I understand that. You don't have that excuse anymore. You don't have that anymore. You don't have to deal with it anymore. We already know it was a bad trade. There's nothing that David Johnson can do, especially at this juncture for the rest of the season. There's nothing that David Johnson can do to prove that trade was worth making. So that ship is sailed. Cut your losses. That's it. Cut your losses. You ain't got to cut them because I don't think you can because of, I think if you cut them, I think it hurts the salary cap even more. You get penalized even more. So yeah, so you ain't got to cut them. But at the very least, stop giving the ball to Mill in the red zone. He's not Arian Foster. Stop doing that. Stop. He is not a touchdown maker. So stop that. Just stop. Now let's talk some good things. Because one thing I was impressed about, one thing I was really, really impressed about, after Derrick Henry got that 94-yard touchdown, what the Texans do? They went right down there and scored. They went right down there and scored. And exactly the matchup that I've been saying was going to be key. Our receivers versus their secondary. Man, Malcolm Butler don't want to see Will Fuller. And there was one pass, I think, on the drive that we ended up scoring with Brandon Cooks. And Deshaun kind of underthrew the ball a little bit because Fuller had to come back to it. And Butler waving Will Fuller off. Butler, if you don't sit your ass down, come on, man. I call you Big Time Butler because you always get beat. I call you Big Play Butler because you always get beat for big plays all the time, especially by number 15. And it's not just with Tennessee. This is dating back when you was in New England. Fuller used to beat you when you was in New England. Don't get it twisted. The only difference is back then when Fuller was a rookie, Fuller used to drop passes every now and again. And well, you actually not every now and again. Fuller used to drop passes a lot. He's gotten a whole lot better. So you don't want to see him. You don't want to see Fuller. So you set that shit up. You got beat for 2 touchdowns today. I don't want to hear you. Yeah, you got 2 picks last week against Josh Allen. That's Josh Allen. That's not Deshaun Watson. Everybody out there talking about Josh Allen is better than Deshaun Watson. Stop it. Y'all seen what happened last week. The exact same team in the exact same building. You seen what Deshaun did. Stop that. Stop that mess. Quit that foolishness. Quit that. And you, Malcolm Butler, stop that. Stop that foolishness. You don't want to see Fuller. Shut up. You don't want to see him. I don't hear all that. Shut your ass up, man. You don't want to see Fuller. And it was a nice play. It was a nice big play set up. And it's funny how before, under the old regime, you could tell there's a difference with this team. With the old regime, they just fall back. They just fall back. Then he get that 94-yard touchdown. It would have been an onslaught. It would have been a roller coaster ride, not roller coaster ride. It would have been a snowball effect, and the Texans would have lost 42-20. That would have been the final score. Oh no, I think the time the Texans had 23. The Texans would have lost 42-23 in regulation. It would never went to overtime. But what the Houston Texans do? They went right back and punch somebody in the mouth. That's what I want to see. That you seen that this team has fight now. The team ain't just took their tail in between their legs and run off. No, they went ahead. They got punched in the mouth. That's cool. You gonna punch me? I'm gonna punch you right back. And I like that. I like that they went for it. Same thing with Brandon Cooks' touchdown. It's funny that both of Brandon Cooks' touchdowns, both of them on 4th down. Now, last week was the game closer. This week should have been the game closer. And this is probably a decision that people are going to talk about a lot, and it's that going for 2. I'm conflicted because I see both angles. Because if you get it, the game is over. Ain't no way you can get 9 points. If you don't get it, it's a 7-point game. Either way it goes, they have. So actually, to be honest, it was the right decision because either way it goes, the Titans still have to score a touchdown, but now you force the Titans to go get a 2-point conversion, which they got earlier on in the game. They got a 2-point conversion early on. So I'm assuming that he's like, man, I'm not even going to play. I'm not. They're more likely going to get that same 2-point conversion. So let me try at the very least in this game. So to be honest, it wasn't a bad throw. It was just tipped to the line of scrimmage. It wasn't a bad throw. It wasn't a bad play design. Just tipped to the line of scrimmage. I mean, Cobb was open, so it was basically just a good play from the defense. I think it was Jonnu Smith, if I'm not mistaken, that tipped the pass to Randall Cobb, and that's why they didn't get the 2-point conversion. So at the very least, it was just a good play by the defense. And like I said, it was all around a good game. And like I said, I know Deshaun's feeling because Deshaun and this offense was completely let down from this defense. This lack of talent of defense. This defense has 0 talent outside JJ. I had high hopes about Cunningham. I had high hopes about Reed, and they letting us down. Let's just call a spade a spade. They are completely letting us down. And we kind of knew that going into the season that this was going to be a team that's going to be winning about the offense. The offense is going to have to win. But when you let somebody basically just take your wheel like that, like they had to drive down, score a touchdown to take it to overtime, then went and got the ball and just went straight down the score. The Texans, Deshaun Watson never touched the ball again. The last time Deshaun Watson on the field, he scored a touchdown that he thought was the game-winning touchdown that secured the bag, that put him up by 7. He got the game. He thought he had the game-winning touchdown. Deshaun thought it was under 2 minutes left in the game. I think it was a minute and 40 seconds left in the game. Deshaun thought he had this game wrapped up. And you could tell that Deshaun wants to win. You can't never say Deshaun won't win because that reaction he had with that coin toss, he knew exactly what his bullshit ass defense was about to do. He knew exactly what this defense was about to do. He knew. Him and the offense, they starting to get it rolling. Cobb got a touchdown. Cobb got a touchdown. Kuntz got a touchdown. Fuller got a touchdown. Steele should have had a touchdown, but drew the pass interference call. And one thing I do like about that play, not just about the pass interference, is that Deshaun hung in the pocket. That's one thing that I've been one thing I've been worried about Deshaun is that him not hanging in the pocket and delivering the ball, even though taking it. Sometimes you have to step up in that pocket, hang in there, and somebody coming to chin check you, and you just got to deliver that ball. You can't always break down and try to move in the loop, even though you do make spectacular splash plays like that. And I think the touchdown to Cobb was like that. Like he made a little move and came out. And you do make plays like that. And hey, I don't want to take anything away from you being special, but on the NFL level, you do have to hang in that pocket, step up, and deliver that ball, even though you're taking a hit. You have to. You just point blank clear. You have to. So for him to do that, I'm glad that he did. I'm glad that he did that. I'm glad, even though it wasn't a touchdown, but it drew the pass interference. If I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking that might be the drive that. I think that's the drive that Cobb got the touchdown. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the drive that Cobb got his touchdown on. So I'm good for that. It's just that Deshaun, Fuller, Cooks, all had a great game. Even Darren Fields. Now I was giving Darren Fields flack, especially behind that drop pass because that pass hit him square in the hands. And he dropped it. And I've been saying that Fields is only good when you use RPOs. when you use RPOs, you can use Darren Fields. Outside of that, Darren Fields become non-existent. But Darren Fields had a decent game today. He had a decent game in my opinion. Everybody on the offense outside of David Johnson had a well game. And David Johnson actually had a nice run, but David Johnson is what he is. The defense let us down. Like I said, A.J. Brown was able to abuse Bradley Roby in key situations. And Derrick Henry. Like Derrick Henry came out there and rushed for 200 yards. Oh, FY, Lamar Miller, when you get a 90-some yard touchdown, you're supposed to end up with a day like that. Because, when we played the Titans on Monday Football 2 years ago, Lamar Miller had, 98-yard touchdown? 95 yard touchdown. He only ended the game 160 yards. But you had 90 on one carry. When you have a 90-some yard carry, you're supposed to end the game over 200 yards, which means you have a productive day. Because you take away that 94 yards, Derrick Henry still had well over 100 yards, which means Derrick Henry had a productive day of running the football, not just piggybacking off of one good run. So FYI, Lamar Miller, when you have big runs like that, you need to finish off and have a 200-yard plus game. But that's really what, you just couldn't stop this man. It wasn't like he was just breaking your back. It was just in key situations. Because on that overtime play, when Derrick Henry went that shotgun and went behind center, not went behind center, but when Derrick Henry went the shotgun and was getting a direct snap, I knew exactly what they were about to do. You knew exactly what they were about to do, and you let them do it. It was third down. You stopped them, maybe force a field goal out of them. Remember, this field goal kicker had one miss and one block. If you get him in that situation, who knows? Maybe he nut up and be like, "Damn, I got just fuck up with the field goal." But no. Y'all act like y'all didn't know what they were doing. You act like I'm sitting on my couch knowing exactly what's about to happen. Deshaun Watson is on the sideline knowing exactly what's about to happen. That's the whole reason why he. That's the whole reason why he did that, because he knew exactly his defense ain't have it. He know his defense ain't got it. So whoever this head coach is, they about to bring off to do a complete complete overhaul on defense. A massive overhaul on defense. Because that's not going to get it done. Congratulations to them Titans. Y'all won the South. Like, the South is y'all's, man. I mean, y'all 5-0. I know y'all haven't played the Colts yet, but y'all beat us. Y'all beat Jacksonville. Y'all won that division. And the Texans shouldn't even been involved because of we've been put behind the 8 ball because of the situations that we've been put in, because of the personnel decisions that were not made in the offseason. Told y'all to go after James Bradbury. Should have retained the Reader. Should have made better decisions in the draft. It was a good game. I can't really be too mad because it was a good game. The effort was there. The play, like the plays were there. It was a heartbreaker for one. It was a heartbreaker, but it definitely was. It was definitely the best game Texas played all year. Like, even though they beat Jacksonville, I mean, because they looked okay against Jacksonville. It wasn't like they looked good. The Texans looked good today. Like, offensively, the Texans looked real good, and the defense gave you plays. I mean, the defense did. I mean, they gave you the strip sack. They gave you the interception. It's just in the crucial moments of the game, they were not good. Were not good at all, and they allowed a team basically take your lunch money. That's really what happened. They just call it what it is. Take your lunch money. And there's one thing also, just a side note, just a sidebar. You see how the Texans got the captain patches on? Never under Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien took those patches away. And so when I seen Deshaun warmed up and had the little captains on the shoulder, I'm like, okay. We're not even gonna wait till next season to do it. We're gonna go ahead and do it now. We're gonna, hey, man, put them captain patches back on them jerseys, man. Hang them Andre Johnson pictures and them Arian Foster pictures back up in the office, man. I like that. Like start representing. So start getting the team feeling better about themselves, so they can actually produce on the field. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell, get more videos. I holla.